Maria, Magier is all over my LinkedIn. How did that happen? And also, how do you support your team members in posting on LinkedIn? How do you motivate them? What is the process behind it? What is your LinkedIn content strategy? How did you even grow the accounts so fast? In this video, I'm going to give you a deep dive into our LinkedIn strategy, the processes behind it, give you a full background story, where we're at now and what we're working on. And I'll guide you step by step through everything I've learned about LinkedIn and supporting the team and growing and being consistent and planning content and creating the right visuals. Everything in this video breakdown. So stick around to learn and let's dive in. Before we dive into the actual step-by-step breakdown, I want to give you my thoughts on why we decided LinkedIn was the right channel and why I think LinkedIn is a great channel for many companies. So first of all, I think the future is personal. So people trust people, not brands, and personal content is more important than ever, especially now that there is AI mass-generated trash content out there. I think writing personal content based on your unique experience and expertise is like a no-brainer for people to want to work with you and your company. So that is the first reason why we decided LinkedIn is the right channel. Second is it just makes sense for B2B. Like LinkedIn is the easiest way to reach your target audience for almost free. I guess the time investment does count as an investment, but you can reach a lot of people organically on LinkedIn, which is a huge plus, and build relationships. And also being on LinkedIn and sharing value will lead to a lot of, or can lead to a lot of positive word of mouth, awareness, leads, and also engagement if done right. So here, for example, some of the DMs I received over the past months from people who have been liking your content. For example, appreciated everything you do for the community, so thorough and such a simple, thorough resource. Thank you, appreciate your content and magic design. Now Magier. Can't believe you're giving this for free. Second, third time I'm checking your free resources and they're really good. Like, you want people to talk like that about the stuff that your company does. It creates positive associations and it helps build the brand. So I think it just makes sense. And then the third point is it helps you stand out. If your competitors don't take LinkedIn seriously, if they are not active on LinkedIn, that is a huge golden opportunity for you to use that channel to your advantage and to stand out and to be there. And last but not least is it can become one of your main sources of traffic and of leads, like it has become for us at Magier. So for example, you can see here, last 28 days, we had over 3,000 people coming from LinkedIn alone. It's right under Google Organic. So you can see here people are coming from our profile buttons that our team members have on their profile to our website, and also just referrals. So they're coming from LinkedIn to our website, which is a huge plus. So that is on why I think LinkedIn is a great channel for us and potentially for you. Then in terms of context and numbers, how did we get started on LinkedIn at Magier? I want to show you our growth, how we've been growing over the past year and a half. So for example, in terms of company page visitors, we started here 15 days in end of 2023 with about 400, maximum 1,400 page views here. And then nowadays we get about 3,000, 4,000 page views per 15 days. Secondly, since January of 2025, we added 8,000 emails to our email list by sharing free resources on LinkedIn. So that has been also super valuable. For our brand account impressions also grew a lot. In a year, we reached 200,000 impressions on our brand account and gained over 3,500 followers, now being at 5,000 followers. For the personal brand account growth, it's been even more crazy, I would say. So we've been focusing on our personal brands, mostly these free profiles, but I'll let you know also how we're expanding that and how we're encouraging our team to post as well, which they have been doing, and it's amazing to see. So these free accounts have been our kind of focus on LinkedIn, My account as a founding marketer has grown a lot, and I've reached about 3 million impressions over the past year. One of them, you can see the spike here, is from a viral video that went just crazy. But even without it, I would have reached about 2 million impressions over the past year. And my follower growth has also been a bit crazy. I think 1,000% growth over the past year. And then Max is our co-founder, and his account is at 30K right now, almost 31K. It has gotten almost 5 million, 4.5 million impressions over the past year. And he gained 200% followers over the past year as well. And last but not least, willl, our head of Webflow, he is at almost 13,000 followers right now. His content has amassed 1 million, 1.5 million impressions over the past year, and his follower growth has been 500%, which is also insane. So that's for the context. And now, how did we start at Magier? So now, I don't know, our Magier account is at 5,000. Where did we start? How did we start posting on LinkedIn? How did we find out what works? Taking it back to November 2023, when I joined Magier, and also shortly before that, we had 267 followers on LinkedIn, and we were still called Magic Design, which is our old brand, our old name. We rebranded in January 2025. And our personal accounts were quite small, other than the co-founder Max's account. He was at 7,000, so now he's at 30,000. He used to be at 7,000. And all of the team members weren't really active or posting, especially not promoting Magier in any way. So for example, head of Webflow, that is 1 year. Here's a screenshot of his analytics 1 year after he started. So at 5,000. When I joined the team, his account was also at about 800 followers. Then, Magier hired their first marketer, me, and I did some user interviews to understand the target audience. I did my onboarding. Didn't start with LinkedIn directly because I needed to do a full-on digital audit, set up the website analytics. We launched some ad campaigns and ad tests to see which messaging is resonating with people, and I needed to set everything up. So I've set up the content calendars in Notion, and around February of 2024, I would say, I started to post 3 times a week consistently on the brand account, and also more than 3 times a week on the personal account. And I also started helping other team members show up on LinkedIn. So here's the announcement post from November, and my account back in the day was at about 700 followers, I would say. The lesson here for when we started is you need to start with leadership. Start by setting an example to your team. If you're a founder, if you're a marketer, and you want to engage your team and help them show up on LinkedIn, you need to be there, you need to be posting. So why would your team trust you that LinkedIn is a great channel and it's fun if you're not on there and if you're not putting in the work? So you need to be consistent. You need to show what cool opportunities you're getting from LinkedIn. If you're showing what LinkedIn can do, they will be more inclined to try it. And because I started posting, Max was posting, and willl was posting, this added more curiosity, more credibility to this whole idea. And also in our monthly all hands, we were always highlighting that from LinkedIn, people are coming, people are learning about our business. We're getting clients from LinkedIn. We are getting a lot of impressions. So that also kind of added to visibility about why LinkedIn is important and that it's a great channel for us. The second part was supporting the early adopters. So once we have started promoting LinkedIn and how great it is for our business, some people were more interested in trying LinkedIn out than others. And I always highlighted, you can reach out to me. I will help you set everything up. I'll help you with your first posts. We can optimize your profile together. So you really need to be proactive and suggest and offer your help so that people come to you. So we helped some of our team members to start showing up on LinkedIn when they showed initiative directly. One of them was Matthew with this very cute post with his dog. He is our art director. And then Elena, for example, our designer, she started posting as well. The problem with this approach was that still after 1 or 2 months of trying and being consistent, people would stop posting just because they had a lot on their plate and there was no clear system to kind of balancing work and more work and LinkedIn all together. So of course we didn't push it and some people would stop posting, which is totally fine, but we needed to come up with a system that would help make it easier for them. So yeah, I guess the lesson here is you need to make it easy for your team members to start and offer them lots and lots of resources to help them. So we shared, for example, a profile optimization checklist, which is a great start. If you're not active on LinkedIn, you can at least optimize your profile, which already helps a lot. And then we shared a personal branding dashboard and calendar with them so they can track their content and plan their content, and also, of course, offered feedback and support. But we never pushed, we only supported and encouraged. So it was totally fine if someone took a break or didn't post, like it's all up to them. 2 to 3 months later, we had our first viral, you could say, post for us, which got 100,000 impressions. It was a free ad library with 300 plus ads, so a huge resource. And I posted it on my account. It performed really well. And that was the first time we asked people to comment to get a resource. So we asked people to comment if they want us to send them the link. And then we got, thousands of comments or hundreds of comments. It says 1,200 there. And I replied to each one manually, and it took me hours and hours and hours, but it was worth it because we were getting so much interest and the post has spread so much, and we even got a few leads out of it, which was, amazing for our first viral post, semi-viral post. So we noticed, okay, this post performed so much better than the other posts. We need to double down on this. So we decided to start creating lots and lots of free, valuable resources for our ICP, which is heads of marketing and founders. We created, for example, this Notion for Marketers bundle, LinkedIn personal brand dashboard, WordPress to Webflow migration guide. People love free stuff. I love free stuff. I don't mind commenting on a post to get something for free that is super valuable to me and that someone has put lots and lots of effort into. And this is one of the tactics that helped us reach millions of people, like you saw before. And because, of course, relying only on LinkedIn is also not super safe, because, of course, LinkedIn could disappear next year. Who knows? Probably it will not, but you should always diversify your channels, or try to diversify your channels and own your audience. So we have also started sending people to a landing page to get a resource rather than sending them the link directly, which of course is also beneficial to them because they get notified whenever we are launching new really cool resources for free. Other than posting free resources, what we also started doing is activating the team for big launches. So not just like small announcements like a new resource, but really big announcements and campaigns. So for example, we had 2 important campaigns over the past year where we wanted to spread the word far and wide. Our Valentine's Day campaign and also our rebranding to Magier, which of course is even more important, but it was both of them were very fun campaigns. So you can see for the first one, for example, there is our Valentine's Day campaign, and so many of our team members posted, which led to thousands and thousands of impressions in total, So one person posting is great, but imagine 10 people posting, 20 people posting, 50 of your team members posting, and also it helps you reach audiences you wouldn't have reached otherwise at all. Then the rebranding launch was even bigger. I don't have all the screenshots here, but again, many team members posted. And this rebranding announcement also, we got feedback like, we saw you everywhere on our feed. It was full of Magier. It was incredible to see. So we got great feedback on that. So with the context out of the way, what does our current content process look like for LinkedIn? Let me walk you through step by step, and how I've set it up is that we're going to imagine you want to start building your personal brand, or you want to help a team member or your founder start posting on LinkedIn and you want to support them there. How do you do it? And this is the process I would use for our team and for my account. So first of all, you would duplicate or start a new content calendar dashboard. We have a free template for it, so I will add it to the Notion resources on this page where you're seeing this. There is a checklist you can follow to optimize your LinkedIn profile. So for example, you need to add a cover image, you need to add a clear profile picture, you need to update your tagline, add a custom button to the website. You need to adjust your experience section and change your slug, URL slug, and list your relevant skills, update your featured section, and add some promo image to lead to your website or to your resources or anything like that. That is really valuable. So first of all, you optimize your profile. Then you need to think about setting up templates or coming up kind of with an idea for your profile's visual identity, and you can do that in Canva and Figma, your in-house designer, of course, or you can, of course, also ask Magier. We're, of course, very happy to help you with any of your design tasks, like, for example, LinkedIn carousels or LinkedIn branding or your company's branding. So here's, for example, how I track carousels that we create for willl, our head of Webflow, in Figma. So here are the carousels, and we design them together with our designer. And the branding we've set up beforehand. And here's a snippet from our Magier branding. So after you have decided on how you want to be visually perceived, I guess, and you can create, a few templates based on your brand colors. After you've done that, you can decide on your 3 to 4 content themes or pillars. In the template I've shared, you can set it up like this. So you can decide, okay, on Monday I post about this, on Wednesday I post about this, and on Friday I post about this. At Magier, we tend to follow the tofu, mofu, bofu approach. So top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel content for each account, the company account and the personal brand account. Plus we post one free resource a week, or at least we try. Most weeks we do post a free resource. And I found this really cool illustration from SEMrush about what top of funnel, middle of funnel and bottom of funnel actually means. And to me, I guess top of funnel is, awareness content, educational, more like fun, storytelling. Middle of funnel is you try to nurture leads, you try to explain what does your service actually do, how do you help your ICP, why would people decide to work with you, what results have they seen when working with you, who are your team members. That is like more middle of funnel, I would say. And then bottom of funnel is some sales posts. Those are the easiest to write. So this week we're offering a trial or discount, book a demo now to check it out, or I don't know, this week the tool is free. So this is more bottom of funnel content. After you decided on your content themes, you can interview your ICP, which I highly recommend. So interview your target audience. It can be marketers, founders, product managers, whoever it is. You need to be very clear about who you want to reach, who is your ideal customer, and then set up actual meetings with them to talk to them. And in those interviews, you can ask them about, for example, who they follow, what content they consume, what are their pain points, what does their day look like, what are some frustrations they're facing, or you can even present what you do and then ask them what are some reasons why you wouldn't go for a service, and then you can actually talk about that in your content. So many things you can learn from just talking to your target audience. I've learned so much from these interviews, and to help you analyze interviews, you also have this interview analysis GPT that I will also share on the Notion page to help you pull the key quotes and analyze the results. Then second thing I would do if you're helping someone create content for LinkedIn is I would schedule a 1-hour recorded content interview with them covering topics for all funnel stages. And if you're doing this for yourself, you don't even have to ask someone to interview you, you can interview yourself. To come up with questions for this content interview, I like to first brainstorm myself and then also ask ChatGPT to see if it gives me some inspiration. And you can record with video, for example, using Riverside, which is a great tool to record natively on every device, and then post snippets of the interview also on LinkedIn if you like. Then once you have recorded this 1-hour interview, and you can also interview yourself, you can just come up with questions and then record yourself talking about answering these questions. Once you have that, I suggest you create a document with examples of your or your team members writing if available. So example LinkedIn post, example blog post they wrote, or anything they've written. And then also, second of all, you can also get the transcript of this interview, add it to a doc as well. And also to that doc, add anything else, like any other transcripts, like of YouTube videos they recorded and filmed, or podcast interviews they did. Any context where they have spoken the content is gold here. So you create a document for that as well. And then you can ask ChatGPT to analyze the tone of voice of the transcripts to help you later on draft content for yourself or for your team member if you're managing their account. After that, I suggest to create a custom GPT to help you write the content, also attaching all of the documents we created before. And for content idea generation, you can also use our content calendar GPT that we've created. I will also add the link in the Notion page. Next, I would go to Notion, and then using the mix of AI, custom GPT, and plus my taste, plus my brain, plus my knowledge of the industry and the audience, I would start writing content, which would be about 3 posts a week for the content themes that we have defined before, or more, of course, if you have the capacity, but I know in the beginning it can be a bit intimidating. And then you have a full month of content eventually, so at least the copy for the posts. So here are examples of what our content calendars look like in June. This is my account, this is Willy's account, and this is Magier's account. So we're posting about 3 to 4 times a week, and sometimes I post even more than that. And after you've written the copy or planned kind of the topics of your posts for each week or for the full month or for a few weeks, you can start thinking about the visuals to go along with the post. And there are 5 key kind of visuals we go for at Magier to help us reach the most amount of people, that are engaging and that are fun to create as well. So first of all is a GIF. We post these types of GIFs mostly whenever we post a free resource. We do this GIF preview. Second type of content we post is this like carousels. They are a bit more effort to create, so we create them with our designer, of course. But even though they're a bit more effort to create, they always perform really well and get a lot of engagement, and also they showcase our team's design skills, which is also great. Then what else we do, we also create infographics like this one, overviews infographics that are also a bit more work, but super worth it and savable, swipeable, valuable. Fourth content type is just a regular image, the easiest one to post, I guess, if you have images of yourself, pictures of yourself. And then the last one I want to share with you is a screen share video. So similar to what I'm doing right now, bit less high production, just you talking to the camera and having, a Loom recording running. Those videos also always get a lot of engagement and perform quite well for our accounts. So these are visual ideas for you that you can try out. When I do want to have a LinkedIn carousel or an infographic created, I brief it to our designers. In the Magier dashboard, I would submit a new design task. I would create a new design request, like for example, case study carousel, and it would get assigned to my designer. And I also prepare the brief in Figma for the carousel design. So I have different pages. I have 4 pages brief in progress, which is where I prepare the briefs. Second page is design in progress, which is where the designer is working and drafting the visuals. And then done, whenever design is done, I just copy paste it to the done page. And then archive briefs, the briefs I don't need anymore. Of course, you don't need to store them. I like to store them, but these 3 pages are enough. And whenever I brief the visual to the designer, I just in Notion change the status of the content piece to waiting on design, so that I know, okay, these posts are done, they have the visual ready, and these posts I'm still waiting, so that should come soon. And if you're interested in my briefing process, how I brief LinkedIn carousels and posts and infographics, you can check out a video I'll also add to the Notion page. It's super short. So with this strategy, we are posting consistently, we are, on top of our game, we have all of the content in Notion, we know what to write about, and we have our, AI assistants as well, helping us draft content, come up with content, and you don't have to ask yourself what to post, hopefully, as much anymore. for us, the system has been working super well, and we've been posting on, mostly these 3 key accounts or 4 key accounts: the Magier account, Will's account, my own account, and the co-founder's Max's account, and growing steadily. So logically we asked ourselves, how can we this time activate more team members, motivate them to post and support them even more so that it's super easy for them to post, much easier than now. So we took the next step. And as I mentioned before, we shared like profile optimization checklist, we shared a content calendar dashboard before with our team, but that's not really enough to understand why I post on LinkedIn, how to get over, some struggles that you may have with LinkedIn, how to come up with, lots of content ideas, what are some things you can post when you don't have time. So all of these questions were still kind of up in the air, and there was not enough clarity and not enough guidance for people to start posting consistently. So we made the LinkedIn personal branding guide for our team. It's a whole thing with video tutorials, FAQs, and different steps, step 1, step 2, step 3. We discuss and dissect every single part of posting on LinkedIn. But I think what made the biggest difference in activating the team was sharing ready to go, plug and play posts and post templates for them to work with. So in step 3, we have post templates by role. So for anyone, for art directors, for designers, for Webflow developers, they can just take a look at these templates and then click use by me whenever they've used a template. And also there is a master LinkedIn content database with 50 plus content pieces that are already ready with the visual in Magier branding and with the caption as well. And whenever someone has used the post, they can just click use by me and then it disappears from this database, so that they know they have used it before. So that even eliminates the need for a content calendar for them. If they don't want to mess around with that and set it up, they can just grab a post from this database, post it, and then hit I used it. And then it disappears only for them. So this database has been the biggest game changer, I guess, in helping the team even more to make it super easy for them to show up on LinkedIn. We also added, of course, LinkedIn hooks database, LinkedIn content types database for inspiration, general content ideas bank. After we launched the guide, we also decided to host a LinkedIn 30-day challenge to activate people, add some urgency, add some fun into it, and also reward people for showing up on LinkedIn. For this challenge, the winner will be based on the total impressions over the past 30 days. And the winner would get a small token of gratitude, I would say. We also created a LinkedIn club channel on LinkedIn where we hyped each other up and people could post whenever they posted on LinkedIn so that others would engage. And I could, of course, repost it to our brand account page. And we have seen some really great results with this challenge. Of course, not everyone had the time and the capacity and the, willingness to participate, which is totally fine. But a huge shout out to, for example, Sonia, who has reached 1,500 followers and is quite new to LinkedIn, or Dane as well, who reached 1,200 followers. And look at all of these cover pages. All of the accounts are so optimized. My marketer heart is singing right now. And I just want to share a snippet of analytics from Sonia's last 2 posts. One of them got now over 2,000, almost 3,000 comments, which is crazy, and over 80,000 at this point impressions. Second one got over 12,000 impressions, which is also amazing. And her account, mind you, was not very active beforehand. So these were some of her first posts on LinkedIn after, always long breaks, no consistency. So that's amazing to see. Also, Dane's post got, over 200, 300 comments just after she started posting after a long break as well. She posted like 4 or 5 times and then posted this, and it performed super well. Because the challenge is not over yet, there are 2 days to go and I haven't had a chance to evaluate the results and total impression count. I will do that in 2 days. But one of the comments that made me super happy is, Magier's all over my feed lately, and for good reason. This looks so cool. really great to hear that our LinkedIn effort and all of the work that we have put in is paying off. Of course, in terms of leads, but also in terms of traffic and in terms of our systems working now so smoothly. I feel like in the beginning I was scrambling to come up with content ideas and know what to write about, but now it's gotten so much easier with the system that I've shared with you. And last but not least, I want to share some key lessons from this LinkedIn journey at Magier and what we've learned. So first things first, people do follow people and they trust people, and personal brand and employer branding can definitely lead to pipeline and revenue and leads. And it's been super clear to us at Magier that there is a direct correlation between our LinkedIn success and our pipeline. Second, track what matters. You don't only have to track impressions, you can track, follower growth, you can track leads you're getting from LinkedIn, you can track traffic to the website, and so much more. And of course, it's best practice to not only get emails, but also nurture the emails. We decided to start a monthly newsletter as well, so we're sharing, valuable resources and case studies and tools for our ICP, which has been quite well received as well. The next lesson is you have to lead by example. I already mentioned it before, but I think it's worth it to highlight it again. If you're not on LinkedIn, you're the marketer or you're the founder, then your team will not be motivated enough to be on LinkedIn. You need to be very passionate about it or excited about it or have fun with it or find a way to have fun with it. And then your team will also be more excited about the idea. The next lesson is I think it's important to have diverse types of content. So for example, while we are posting free resources once or twice a week or a few times a month, we don't only post about free resources. Even though they perform super well, I think it's really important for a strong brand to not only talk about one thing, but also have a mix of valuable content, resources, videos, podcast appearances, testimonials, case studies, educational breakdowns, infographics, videos, and much more, just because you want people to get to know you, get to know your personal brand, get to know people behind the brand as well. And you cannot do that by just posting resources and the same thing all the time. So show yourself, show your personality, that's super important, add some storytelling. And yeah, but that said, a good resource, sharing a good resource that's relevant to your ICP is like a cheat code, I guess. People will engage with it and people will share it if it's relevant and if it's useful. So that's a really great tactic, but of course you have to know also how to create a great resource, which is a topic of its own. Anyways, the next lesson would be to make it super easy for your team, like I mentioned. So employee branding works if it's easy for your team, and you need to give people the tools to make it easy for them. And the last lesson is to stick to it, because it can be tempting to try something for 2 months and then say it's not working and then leave. But we've been at it for over a year and a half, posting consistently on multiple accounts, encouraging our team, and putting in a lot of work into it, and it has paid off. So I highly encourage you to not give up on LinkedIn too soon and to try posting consistently valuable content for your ICP and see what happens. Try things out. If the post is not engaging, try tweaking the copy in the next one, or try updating the visual, or try doing more research about your ICP to understand what they actually want. So don't give up, and you'll do grand. And that is it for our LinkedIn strategy breakdown video. I hope it was super valuable. You learned something new and you're inspired to get started on LinkedIn as well. Please check out the resources that I left also on the Notion page, and best of luck on LinkedIn. Bye bye.